Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And yesterday I had shown the coin market cap, which I promised to never do again. Yes, we were watching the battle going on between XRP and Ethereum, and I know that coin market cap was not showing the correct market cap of XRP, and I just kind of slipped my mind, if you will, that it is very sensitive topic for many people in the XRP community. So I am listening to everybody who left me comments, and I tweeted just a little bit ago that I was gently nudged after yesterday's video not to use CoinMarketCap anymore, and I agree. So what was I thinking? XRP is still in the second position. Silly me. So we are going to use those platforms that are calculating the correct market cap. And the Forbes crypto market is one I think I can get used to. You know, we are creatures of habit, right? So you just get used to using one thing and it becomes a habit. So I do believe that Forbes is doing a nice job. It is easy to read. You can see here that XRP is absolutely ranked number 2. And we've got everything we need. As a matter of fact, we even have a little bit more. There are some tools that you can use for the indicators, simple moving averages, weighted moving averages, and the exponential moving average. Here you can actually create the trending static line. You can look at the Fibonacci. And yeah, I think I'm going to like this one a lot. And not only that is I can rotate to the candles, which, by the way, if you didn't know, was invented in Japan back in the 1600s by a rice trader. But I do like the candles because it shows me the volume, and you can tell by these indicators whether the price is trending up or trending down. And this is pretty much a doji, which tells you that the market is in a very state of doesn't know which way to go. Actually, here's another doji here. Dojis are not that common, but it does show an indecisive market. So I'm not a TA person, as you all know. I mean, I listen. I have great respect for those people who do it. I'm not that great at it. I am leaning more towards the AI side of algorithms that are going to do it for us. So maybe I'm just a little bit lazy to learn. I do believe we are on the cusp of never having to do these kinds of reading by ourselves anymore. I think the algorithms and the artificial intelligence is going to be far superior than what we could ever do. So I am waiting for those tools to become more readily available. And speaking of those algorithms, as you know, I introduced this site to everybody a couple of videos back. It's called Predicoin, and it is just that. It tracks news, social content, crypto market sentiment. It is using algorithms to create all that information at a glance. It's really very good. The overall market sentiment today is up 7%, and on a scale of 1 to 10, 5 being neutral, we are going towards the positive, so 6.1. This is the actual top 30 cryptocurrencies, and I'm looking at all of the criteria, which is buzz, social, news, the sentiment score, and the actual market cap. So we have a 5-sided radar web graph here, and it can show you that people are really today leaning towards looking at the fundamentals and buzz. Always when we are trending up, buzz is very popular. So I do like this. And you can see overall individually, Bitcoin's buzz is very high at 7.6%, Ethereum 5.5, XRP 4.6. And if we look a little closer, just at the XRP score, it is at 5.3. It is up 3.9% for the day. And the sentiment score over a period of time, it's very handy. You can adjust this. You can adjust this to go far beyond the scope of a day or a week, and you can get into looking at the last month. And as you see, you roll your mouse over, you can actually look individually day to day as that sentiment score changes. It's very, very handy. And not only that is when you come down to the trending topics, you can really see what is in the news and what people are talking about. So today, this is today, people are talking about, of course, cryptocurrency, scams. Scams seem to be even higher than they were a couple of days ago. There are a few scams out there. Watch it. If somebody tells you that something's too good to be true, like you give them 1,000 XRP and you get 5,000 XRP back, run. Just run as fast as you can, because there are lots of scams out there that have appeared in the last couple of weeks. Okay, and blockchain regulation. There's just a lot of interesting stuff. I think trading, mining, there's Japan there. The news out of Japan is that actually two of the miners that had mining facilities and were producing mining equipment have decided to exit that part of their business, DMM and GMO, because it's just not profitable right now. And regulation sure is still on the minds of a lot of people. When you click on any of these active links, it'll take you right to a page which has the stories. And in the top tweets, I see always lots of people I know. There is Crypto Dog there. Crypto Bobby. Crypto Bobby is a Bitcoin guy, but I watched his video this morning. He's growing a beard, and he hasn't decided at what price he's going to shave, but he's getting quite hairy. So anyway, it was just kind of fun. So you can see the people who are in the top tweets. Who else do we know here? Silver Bullet, I don't know. Very often you see lots of, there's Barry Sealbert. You'll see lots of people that you either follow or have heard about in the space. So it's a very good and useful site to get that information at a glance. All right, and if you remember, we were told by Bitrue, which is one of the big XRP base exchanges here in Asia, they were asking for people to make suggestions on what pair they wanted to see with XRP, because they were going to create 5 new ones, and they did. So we have Tron, Stellar Lumens, Neo's coin Gas, and OMG, Omisego, is all paired now with XRP on that site. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about over-the-counter, because this is something I receive a lot of frustration in the comment sections, not towards me, but I think people in general feel a little frustrated with OTC. And I thought, well, okay, let's just do a real quick recap on looking at who is doing OTC. Why would people do OTC? And if you ever do OTC, what are some of the tips? So, when we look at the people who are in this space, they are all of the big names. Octagon Strategy, formerly head of Morgan Stanley Electronic Trading, started that site. They are in Hong Kong, China. Genesis Trading, formerly the Second Market, they did over $2 billion in OTC trades last December. They're out of New York City. FBG Capital, they are headed by, they were founded by a senior IT specialist at IBM. They're in Beijing, China. Then there's Smart Contract. They're in Tokyo, Japan. They specialize in institutional size trades. And of course, Circle. They are backed by Goldman Sachs. They're in Boston, Massachusetts. They do about $2 billion monthly on a regular basis, OTC. Jennifer Hanley, however, said that they did at one time have a month that was a record for them with a $4 billion trade. It's a lot of OTC trading. So why do people go on OTC? Well, they get better pricing. Also, they are shielded. As a high value trader, it's more discreet. There are also large market orders that go deep into the order book. So if you do it on your own, you very often can run into some poor price execution. And the selling, if you enter the market on the open trade, depending on the size, of course, you can move that market. You can send strong signals, whether it be up or down, depending on what you're doing. And that isn't always necessarily advantageous for you. Also, these services offer arbitrage trading, which is attractive for some. It's automated now. They're using sophisticated software to do that kind of trading. And the exchanges, if you're a big buyer or seller, for the most part, most of those exchanges can't provide ample liquidity to get your deal done. So anytime you have $1 million or more in trade, it creates a lot of attention. And these traders are trying to avoid that attention. And then we have dark pools. Now it sounds kind of scary, but actually it's not. Many platforms, many platforms, including names that you recognize, are providing this dark pool volume. And the most prominent one in the cryptocurrency exchange is probably Kraken. I mean, even Coinbase is doing some OTC, providing that kind of dark pool liquidity, but it's Kraken is maybe the most famous one. So through an exchange, but the exchange takes great care not to disrupt the regular order book. And it has been, these dark pools have been a thorn in the side of regulators for a very long time worldwide. But as of 2013, FINRA announced that it started monitoring these dark pools. So it is for really the ultra high net worth individuals and institutions. And who is swimming in these dark pools? Well, you'll recognize the names: Credit Suisse, Barclays, UBS, Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, Goldman Sachs. Even down at the bottom, we've got JP Morgan. So these types of financial services are giving a discrete trading ability to those people who are doing very large amounts. Now, how big are those amounts? Well, for the most part, the average ticket or the average minimum to get in is somewhere around $75,000. And some platforms you have to have even a minimum trade of $250,000. They do a KYC and they follow AML requirements, so they are on the up and up. Despite the name, it is totally a legal, but yeah, it's a legal part of the trading community, but still in the crypto space, it is very much unregulated still. So I think that, yeah, this is serving a need, but if you're not big enough to participate in these dark pools, maybe you feel a little bit left out. When it comes to crypto, so April 2014, it was estimated, according to Wiki, that 40% of all U.S. stock trades are done OTC. And in crypto now, most of the people report that 2 to 3 times the amount that's reported on the daily volume of exchanges that do report is being done in OTC. So it really is a large amount of trading. The majority, the lion's share, is done OTC. And those OTC desks, they can do about $100 million daily. They have a minimum ticket size, like I said, to get in at about $75,000 to $250,000. The OTCs can settle very quickly. The money is sent either by bank wire or by sending crypto. And it's the price discovery that's so murky. And that is primarily why trust is very important when it comes to the brokers. So this over-the-counter space, according to Reuters, has its own language. And also, if you read from market traders who are at the desk taking orders, they have their own language, one of which I thought was really funny. So when they say something like Benji me, what they are referring to is the movie character Benjamin Button, who, of course, if you remember that movie, he ages backwards. And what it means when another trader says to another trader, hey, Benji me, it means, will you meet me in the middle with the price? So don't forget, when you're doing your negotiation, definitely pull out that, hey, come on, Benji me. Well, if we look at price discovery is very, very difficult. And according to the traders, they say don't shop around. So avoid shopping around for rates. Why? Because that information gets out quickly if you are bringing a big block to the market or you actually have a request. These guys talk to each other. So if you call, only call when you're ready. That is the advice of one trader. He says, when you call, we are totally trained to ask you what kind of questions that will give us, like how bad you want to sell, how much you want to sell, how quickly you want to sell. And so don't fall into the trap, he says, that you'll reveal your hands when you're shopping, and you don't want to do that. What you want to do is, when you're ready, get a quote for 3 different rates, both in buying and selling. So let's say, for instance, you're going to sell some Bitcoin. You never say you're going to sell. You just say, I need to have the price, please, for selling 1,000 Bitcoin, 500 Bitcoin, and 100 Bitcoin. And then also, I'd like to know your price for buying 1,000 Bitcoin, 500 Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin. And then typically, from that information, and don't give any more information, the broker can't tell anything. And they will, because it's their job, they will give you a quote. And they do know that if they have any inkling that you're shopping around, they're going to give you a quote with a time frame expiration. And you will probably not be able to get back to them in time to get that original quote. And they're going to lowball you some price to make them look like, oh, this is the best house in town in terms of price, because the brokerage fees run anywhere from 1% to 5%. So he might give you a price that's totally unrealistic if he thinks you're shopping around. And the way to play that hand is you want to tell them, you want to call their bluff, and you want to say, okay, I'll lock that price in. And the trader says it hasn't happened to him, but he has heard of other traders that fell into the trap of the person who is buying and selling. And so, yeah, it's just one thing. Don't ever reveal your hand. So sell when the trading activity is up, and you'll generally get a better rate. And the 7-figure trades often experience slippage. So be aware of that when the price goes in the wrong direction before it completes is something called slippage. And it is very often unavoidable in really big trades, unless you have just all the stars aligned. So one trader said you might want to break those trades up so that you can avoid the slippage. Okay, everybody, that was your quick overall summary on OTC. And I don't want people to feel so negative about OTC. OTC is just, it's just how it is. And there are some people who have formed investment groups, sometimes with friends, sometimes with family, or they actually go through professional organizations that create investment clubs. And then you can pool your buying power together and then use these OTCs. So I'm thinking that if you really feel so frustrated that that the OTC markets are there for others and not for you, you might want to consider starting a club, joining a club, or at least just researching some of those. There are associations out there. They exist on Telegram. They exist on Facebook. They exist on LinkedIn. They're everywhere. So you're not going to have a hard time finding a club. I think for me personally, I think it would be one, I think I would want to be part of a club where I knew the people. Yeah, maybe that's just me personally, but also that can go down a slippery slope too. So I don't know. No advice from me. I'm just telling you that that is an option. Okay, let's jump to the fluff. This is a fun story. This is all about the secret pricing. So you talk about price discovery, right? This is the price discovery for fugu. Fugu is blowfish, or when I was a little girl, we called them pufferfish. And fugu is very popular and very expensive in Japan. And they are, wow, so expensive at $200 a kilo. The price discovery at fugu auction is very interesting. So watch this. I'm going to just play something really quick here. It is done in what's called a kukuri seri. Now, if you see the video here, he has a bag. And the trader, let me just turn that down. The trader is, of course, giving prices, and the buyer is putting his hand inside the bag and giving a hand signal so that he doesn't reveal what price he is offering. And the other buyers around them don't see if the price is trending up or trending down. It's very, very interesting. So the fugu here in this country takes a special license to prepare, but when it is prepared, it is super yummy. And yeah, if you want to see this, you can go to the markets around Japan. And it's not just fugu that's traded this way. Actually, I have seen some expensive matsutake mushrooms are also traded this way. So when the prices are very high and things are very precious and rare because of seasonality, this kind of fukuri seri is used to trade. And I'm going to the fish market with my dad when he comes here at the end of this month. So if I see anything interesting, I'll be sure to share it with you. Okay, everybody, take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.